Hello and welcome everyone. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the OSPF single area and multi-area concept. So, before moving ahead with the slide deck, I'd like to discuss a scenario so that it will become more clear to us. So, let's take an example here. Say for example, we have configured the multiple routers in OSPF. Let's say like this, the routers are connected like this. So this is what I am considering the multiple routers here. Consider this is router 1, router 2, router 3, router 4, 5, 6 and 7. All the routers are connected to each other like this. Like this, the routers are connected to each other. Now in this, as we discussed, if you go ahead and configure the OSPF in this routers, so let's say I'm configuring OSPF area 0 in all the routers. So if you configure OSPF process ID, let's say 1 and area 0 in all the routers, so in that case the routers will form the neighbor relationships and the routers will maintain something known as database table. The routers will maintain the database tables. Now make sure within one area the routers will maintain the database table is completely depends upon number of routers. Say for example, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right now I have these 7 routers. In the sense I will have the number of entry in the database table as 7. Basically this is considered as you will have the LSA1 link state advertisement, number of LSA is 7. Say for example, if I go ahead and configure, let's say hundreds of router in a single area, so I will have hundreds of entry into the same. Let's say if I am having the thousands of router within the area, so I will be having the thousands of entry in my database table. And the major concern is, if let's say if there is some of the network running here, if this network is going down, all the routers within the area, they will refresh their complete database table, they will run the algorithm and they will calculate the new routing table. If this network is coming back also, if it is coming back also, all the routers within the area, they will refresh their database table, run the SPF algorithm and create the routing table. This is what happens. So in case if any of the network is going down or maybe coming up, this is the major challenge happens in the OSPF single area concept. So that's the main reason Cisco recommends that do not keep more than like 40 to 50 router within the area. If you have more than 40 to 50 routers in your company, in your organizations, please go ahead and use the multi-area concept here. So that you will not have the challenge of frequently running SPF algorithm, larger database table and larger routing tables. You will not have these kind of issues. So that's where we will be going through the multi-area concept. Okay, so just to summarize the same, see, so when it comes to the why multi-area OSPF, this is the major concern. Single area OSPF is useful in case of a smaller network, and if an area becomes too big, the following issues will be addressed here. So the following issues are like larger routing table, larger database table, and frequently SPF algorithm will run whenever any network is coming up or maybe going down. This is what the major challenge. So just to avoid the same, we are going through the multi-area concept in OSPF. So what exactly mean by multi-area concept? It's all about, let's say, if you are configuring area as area 0 in all the router, that is considered as single area. If you configure some routers as area 0, some routers as, let's say, area 10, some routers as area 20, then it will be considered as multi-area. So we'll see that how exactly this multi-area concept is going to work. So make sure, this is the major point. So in OSPF multi-area concept, you need the hierarchical network design, where the OSPF network design is divided into multiple areas, where one of the area will be considered as area 0, which is also called as backbone area, and remaining all other areas are known as non-backbone areas. That's what the concept of your OSPF multi-area. So if you see in our scenario here, see this. If you see this, I'll just delete and I'll remove this as well. I don't need. Now see. So if you want to divide this in multiple area, so I will take one of the example here. Let's say I'm going to keep this routers in one area, this is in one area, and this is, let's say, this is in one area here, and I am going to connect this particular routers to some of the other routers as well. Let's say router 8, and this is my different things. I will discuss after some time what exactly it is. Okay, so I will discuss this. Now let's see. So consider this is my area 0, and this is my area 10, this is area 20. You can keep 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever you have, the numbers you can keep here. Now see, I have my area 0. This area 0 will be considered as my backbone area. This is considered as my backbone area. Apart from that area 0, all other areas are considered as non-backbone area. And make sure, it is important that all non-backbone area routers like R7, all non-backbone area router must be connected to backbone area router like R3. Similarly, all non-backbone area routers must be connected to backbone area router here. This is a thumb rule in OSPF multi-area concept. Now try to understand. The routers which belongs to backbone area is known as backbone routers. You can consider it as backbone routers. And the routers which belongs to non-backbone area, they are basically considered as internal router. And the routers which connects two different area like area 0 and area 10, this routers considered as ABR, area border router. The routers which connects two different area considered as area border routers, ABR. And the routers which connect two different protocol, for example, here OSPF is running, OSPF area 20, and here I am running with another protocol like, let's say, EIGRP. So this R6 is running with OSPF and EIGRP. So in some of this scenario, we can enable the communication from EIGRP to OSPF and OSPF to EIGRP. In that case, this router will become ASBR, Autonomous System Boundary Router. So this is basically the routers which connects two different protocols becomes ASBR, ASBR, Autonomous System Boundary Router. So this is basically the major concept behind the multi-area concept in OSPF. So the benefit will be, if you discuss the benefit of this, like we discussed the database table in OSPF. For area 0, you will have just 3 LSA1. In area 10 you will have 3 LSA 1. In area 1020 also you will have 3 entries. So this is what the benefits of your having multi-area concepts in OSPF. Let's move ahead and see a couple of more information in the slide deck. But this is what the whole scenario behind that. See this. As we discussed, I will come back to this particular slide. First, see this. So let's say we have area 10 for OSPF, area 0 and area 300. So the routers which is presents in backbone area, they are basically considered as the backbone routers, and the routers which belongs to non-backbone area, internal routers. The routers which connects the two different area considered as ABR, area border routers. The routers which connects to different autonomous system, different protocol is considered as ASPR, autonomous system boundary router. Just read this. Now go back to the slide. See, backbone router, see here. In simple term, the routers which belongs to backbone area is backbone router. The routers which belongs to non-backbone area, like regular area, is nothing but non-backbone area. That is internal router. The routers which connects two different areas is called as area border routers, and the routers which connects the two different protocol is called as the autonomous system boundary routers. So this is what the scenario what we have discussed and multi-area concept, and that's it for this particular lecture. I will see you in the next lecture with the additional things. Thank you. See you in the next chapter.